Praise the Darkness Jerky.
Hello there, Sir from 17 once again, introducing you to the Darkness 2 demo that is now available on the PlayStation Network and Xbox Marketplace. It's about a gig and a bit, so it's not too big, and it's a nice little smidgen of the game to be expecting when it drops on the 7th of February. This is played on the Dawn difficulty, and yeah, let's get into it. As soon as the game starts off, you're going to have some lovely cutscene, lovely talking, lovely you are the Dawn of a crime family, but I've cut that out. I've got straight to the action for the purposes of this video, and if you want to see that stuff, download it now. I mean, it's available, it's fun, but it's very different to Darkness 1. And this first section here is the introduction to an on-rails shooting moment, and I'm not the biggest fan of on-rail stuff, but this is interesting. And on the Dawn difficulty, you can die very quickly on this bit because the aiming is a little stiff. I've got the aiming on high sensitivity and it feels sluggish as hell, but there is a very strong and complementary aim assist. If you hold the left trigger, the aimer goes on the nearest guy and enables you to shoot him at your own leisure. The only problem is, because you've been dragged, there's moments on this demo where, especially on this start bit, where you can't aim at the guys that are shooting you and you're getting shot from a few directions, and because it's the hardest difficulty, you do take a lot more damage. And if you're wondering how close you are to dying, if you look in the bottom left corner, those 4 bars that kind of look like, you know, the red ring of doom on the Xbox, those are your life. They do regenerate in these moments. They're a little bit different when you've got the darkness, but that is pretty much your life bar, so just watch that to know how close you are to going down. And like I said, there is a very generous aim assist on this game. It's kind of crazy, but because you're being dragged, it can be kind of difficult to know whereabouts you're going. And a couple of things that I didn't really like when I was playing it. This section here, this is an interactive cutscene where you're actually taking damage while you're being shot at in a cutscene. Because if you watch my life, it goes down as we're being shot at. That is not cool, injuring you in the fucking cutscene. It's a little weak if you ask me, but I suppose it's cinematic effect. But anyhow, anybody that played the original Darkness will remember that Jackie is, you know, a bit of a badass. He's got these lovely engraved, nickel-plated black pistols, 1911s, Colt action, whatever you want to call them. And on this game, they look pretty good. They perform pretty well. The only problem with it for me is they kind of killed the dual wielding. You'll notice that the aimer is really wide. It's not necessarily too inaccurate, it's just harder to have a representation on the screen of where your guns are going to be shooting. So I can already tell that when I do the guide for this when the game drops on the 7th of February, I'm not going to be dual wielding at all. I'm going to be single wielding because I just don't like having wide aimers. I like precision, and it's a bit of a shame actually, because on the other game, when you had 2 pistols, you still had 1 reticle that was really tiny and your bullets went where you aimed. And don't get me wrong, that the aiming on the first Darkness was a little strange and not the most fluid, but it didn't diminish double weapons, which is a bit of a shame. But once that Molotov cocktail flies in, that's the end of the rail section. And I've cut out some more cutsceneage to us acquiring the Darkness and the awesome pearly tones of Mike Patton, who voices the Darkness once again, if anybody's been wondering if they're coming back. And we finally get to play with them now. But there's a lot of new features on this game. There's a couple features from the old one that I really enjoyed, and I can't tell just yet if they've come back because the demo's pretty limited, but there is an upgrade tree, and there is a lot of upgrades on that tree, so I'm hoping one of them is one of the things that I'm missing. Because I don't know if you remember the original game by Starbreeze, but they had the ability to go up to an enemy when you had your pistols on, and when you pressed the trigger to shoot, instead of shooting, he did an up-close and personal execution with the pistols. And it saved you ammo, and it was also badass. And this game doesn't seem to have that, and I don't know if it's because it's kind of Starbreeze's, you know, signature trick, because they had it on Riddick and a whole bunch of games that they've done. It's kind of their thing, so it makes me wonder if they've chosen, you know, artistically and creatively, sorry, not to do that, because that's kind of what Starbreeze does, and instead opt for those executions that you can do with the Darkness. And if it is, I'll be disappointed, because I really like those gun executions. They were my favourite thing about the old game. But this section here is introducing you to the new controls of the darkness, because the left bumper now picks things up so that you can throw it or you can use it as a shield, and right bumper now controls the lashes of the tentacle, but you can now direct it, and it's going to be used in certain combat puzzles and certain, you know, environmental puzzles. And all you do is, like it says there, you hold the right bumper and you use the right analog to flick in the direction you want to slash. It's very simple. And these are the execution moves that you now do, where if you stun an enemy with an object, or if you whip them, or if you shoot them, you can then grab them and do the execution move. But unfortunately on this part of the demo, it doesn't work unless you throw a box at him. It wants you to do that because it's training you on how to do it. And you'll notice you get 30 points of like essence for doing those executions. So if you want to play this game and really haul the executions, you will get more upgrade points, and it could be maybe a skill or a technique to upgrade faster and get stronger quicker. So just bear that in mind for when the future game comes out. And if anything glows purple, it means you can pick it up and throw it. And the aiming on the throw is not the easiest, because like it's a bit awkward aiming down sights just to throw the stuff, because it just doesn't come natural to me yet. So I use the hip fire, which is more of a gut feeling thing than anything else. But if you hit them, you will get a slice bonus, which is generally 20 points of essence, and it is generally an insta-kill. This is the hardest difficulty, so it's going to translate into the rest of the game. If your screen ever goes white like that, it means you're in the light. You need to take the lights out. They only give you 1 point of essence, so they're not the best way to build currency, but you will lose your darkness powers and you will die really quickly when you're not in darkness, so you need to try and bear that in mind. But the car doors will work as a shield, and then you can throw them. It's entirely up to you and how you want to do it. There's a lot of tools on this game to kill with. It's pretty awesome, and anything in the arena you want to be chucking because it's going to save you ammo. And this game kind of feels like using the guns is not the way you should really be playing it, because they don't seem to have the oomph that I would have liked, and the aiming on some of them is a little bit loose when it comes to precision. But this is only a demo, and maybe in the proper game, the upgrade trees and things like that will make them a little bit more concise, a little bit more, you know, usable. By any means they are not bad, but it's just, I don't know, compared to some of the shooters that are on the market, this definitely does not have the strongest shooting components. But that's because it's doing this whole RPG stuff, and with the looks of the upgrade tree and how you gain experience for everything you do when you kill people, it's probably going to have some surprising depth, or surprising, you know, different directions for players to tailor their characters. But this is the Darkling, and you don't really have much influence over him in the demo, but you're probably going to be able to control him in the game like you could in the first one. He's really useful. He'll grab enemies and you'll get extra experience killing them when he's on them. There's a whole host of different things he can do, so I'm looking forward to the full game to find out his true potential. One thing that does seem to be missing though when I checked the upgrade tree and when I played myself is the little like slug that you could control that was for, you could kill enemies with it and you could also solve puzzles with it, and it was kind of weird because it could go up on any surface and it was a little bit disjointing, but I really liked it, and I don't think it's going to be coming back in the game because I do remember a lot of critics kind of citing it as being a little shitty, but I liked it. And the sprint looks good. I like how he holds his gun down. It looks a bit funky when he does it with the shotgun, but the shotgun on this game is beast. I'm a big fan. But this is the upgrade tree, and if you do execute everybody on the demo instead of shooting them, you can probably get a couple of the early upgrades. I managed to get the Hitman executions thinking that they were going to be the gun executions from the first game, and it turns out all they do is when you execute people using the darkness, you will get ammo instead of health regen. Because a couple little tips if you've not been paying attention what the game tells you, or if you have no intentions of playing it till the game comes out. When you get the ability to eat hearts, it will heal your life. So if you look in the bottom left hand corner, every time I eat a heart, it gives me a chunk of life back. So you want to think of the enemies as every single one of them is a potential med pack, which is a really cool mechanic, and I'm glad that it makes more sense than it did in the first game, because in the original Darkness, I used to love eating hearts because it made a fantastic and satisfying noise, but all it did were enable you to build your powers up when you ate so many hearts, and after you played the game a couple hours, you'd ate all the hearts you needed to do, so it kind of made it a little bit redundant later on. The guns as far as the reloads, you don't pick up any other pistols, and when I've been dual wielding I haven't really ran out of ammo, but on the original Darkness, when Jackie ran out of ammo in a gun, he would pull another gun out, and I'm hoping this game is the same, but you can't really tell just yet. So it's one of those things that we'll probably have to find out when the full release hits. But I think when I do make my guide, I'm probably going to be using the executions more than anything. I'm probably just going to like put a shot in a dude, whip him with the Darkness and then execute him and just build up as many points as I can, cause it's going to make the game a lot easier and a lot more fun probably than just a straight up shooter, cause I am known in games when there's various mechanics to just go the shooter route because it's the stuff I'm comfortable with. Watch this! Oh, goodness me. That is one of the aforementioned executions and it's a lovely one. Also, every so often you get a little bit of slow-mo if you do something cool, which is quite nice. And you'll notice in a minute, I'm going to throw this taxi door at two guys, I get some great slow-mo for it. There you go. Sliced! Which is a nice little touch. When I watched the GameSpot people go through the demo, he said that when you get the slow-mo, it gives you the opportunity to kill other people, or like a bullet time effect, but you don't move very fast during it, so it seems kind of worthless for that. And I'm not too sure what the true focus of that will be, but this is the end of the first part of the demo, people, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you in part 2. You take care now.